Hi there, it's Sarah from Kalm Pilates and welcome to this postnatal video. So it's fantastic you had your baby, and after 6 weeks, if you had a normal delivery, you can start exercising again, and Pilates is actually perfect because we're going to focus on your TA, your transversus abdominis, and your pelvic floor, which have been under pressure whilst you were pregnant and also during the delivery. Now, if you're worried about diastasis recti, the separation of the abdominals, I would say get yourself checked by your GP or your physio, and then get some advice on when you can start exercising again. Also, if you had a cesarean, then again, after 8 weeks, it should be okay, but you may want to just consult your GP or your physio as well, just to double check. Perfect, so we're ready to go. Place your feet under the hips, and again, we're going to just rock to the front and to the back. All I want you to think about is just relaxing into the floor, feeling the floor with your feet and feeling very balanced. Stop where you feel very sturdy. Take the edge of your knees, so just slight bend, we'll do that, and then you can access your pelvis. So you're going to tilt to the front and to the back, swinging the hips to the front and the back. Now, make the movement smaller and smaller. Imagine you had water in your pelvis, you would be sort of spilling, and you're trying to make the waves or the ripples in the water disappear, so you make it smaller and smaller until the water is completely still. And then from here, imagine your head and your whole vertebrae to be lifted towards the ceiling. And when I say that to people, they literally grow a centimeter, so just think about length. Rotate the shoulders away from the ears, but rather than pulling them down, I want you to lengthen through the collarbones. No tension around the neck or the spine. Take your hands on your lower rib cage. You're going to breathe into the palms of the hands, so you're going lateral. Breathe in. As you breathe out, belly button towards the spine. Lift the pelvic floor at the same time. So breathe in as you breathe out, so pull in and lifting at the same time. Now, you may find that you've lost a bit of connection after delivery, and that is to be expected, and that's exactly why we're doing the pulling in. So we're going to try and get your strength back. It will take some time, so give it a few months, or at least 6 to 8 weeks, and then you can compare. So don't compare tomorrow to today. Now, breathe in as you breathe out. I want you to lift the pelvic floor. Same thing, the pelvic floor had a lot of weight to deal with, so it's going to be looser, and we need to strengthen it on every out breath. Well done, last one. Breathe in as you breathe out. Pull in and lift the pelvic floor. Well done, relax. So from here, I want you to sit at the top of your mat so that the mat is behind you. So come down and find the floor. Now, big toes, ankles, knees together, straight spine to start with. We're going to go into reverse abdominal, so you can let the hands float. If you're a bit uncertain about how much strength you have left in your abs, you can also hold the back of your thighs. You can always take them away when you need to. So breathe in here. As you breathe out, the movement starts from tilting the pelvis. So you bring your tailbone under. That's how you start the movement. Keep the knees in check, and then you pull the abdominals in. Now you're making a C shape. There's no tension around the neck though, or around the shoulders. Breathe in here. As you breathe out, pull in before you move. Start moving up. C shape. That's it. As the shoulders come above the hip bones, that's where you open up and relax. That's it. We're doing 4 more. Breathe in as you breathe out. Tilt from the pelvis. Tummy moves in. You go as low as you can hold it. So if your belly button is popping out, you know you've gone too low. You need to work within your limits, because otherwise you're going to just injure yourself. And that's not what we're trying to do. So find sort of the edge of your ability. That's what I would say. Because you're postnatal as well, it's even more important to listen to your body. So breathe in as you breathe out. So if you feel that this is still creating a bulge in the abdominals, you can hold yourself here. Breathe in as you breathe out. You can just do a little curve. As long as you get the abdominal scoop, I'm absolutely happy. And going back up. Now on the next one, I'm going to keep you low. So breathe in here. As you breathe out, I want you to find the position where you feel that your abdominals are under pressure, but you can hold it comfortably. Now, if you can, you float your hands. Now, it's amazing how much these hands help you, and I'll show you by just taking one away. So breathe in as you breathe out, pull the abdominals in. If you can, you take one hand up. If this is too much, you keep your hands floating over the knees and bring it back in. Just move on the out breath, because you need the extra support as you're breathing out. Don't forget that the shoulders stay away from the ears, so still keep your technique. Breathe in, breathe out. Doing well. That's it. So make sure you still have that deep connection in your abs. Breathe in, breathe out. Well done, well done. And then from here, with control, we're going down. So try and find the mat. Try not to collapse. That's it. And find yourself down. Now, the good thing about being postnatal is that you can lay flat on the floor again. Hooray. So we're going into a 100 position. And to do that, I need you to get into your neutral. Find that space underneath your lower back. So that should be off the mat. But if you take your hand up, then the rib cage should be touching the mat. So you shouldn't be able to move your hand underneath the rib cage. That's a good position. Hip bones, if you feel them, they face sort of straight ahead to the ceiling. Head is relaxed and your gaze is 30 degrees in front rather than being up. Take the shoulders away. Now, if you're quite tight in the shoulders, I always say to people, bring your palms facing up because it does an outward rotation with your shoulders, and so they're in a better position that way. Breathe in. As you breathe out, I want you to hold in those abdominals. Lift the pelvic floor, get the right knee above the right hip bone. If you're not sure what's happening in your abs, have your hands on your tummy. They will tell you. Breathe in. As you breathe out, pull away from the hands, secure everything, get the second knee up. Reposition if you need to. You can bring the knees together if you like. Now, if this is creating a bulge, then I need you to take the knees a little bit closer into the body. Now, taking the knees in doesn't mean losing the gap, right? Look what would happen if I move the knees in, but I tilt the pelvis. I'm losing the gap and I'm working nothing. It's actually quite relaxing. Then you know it's not Pilates. If it's too relaxing, you know it's too easy. So take the knees back, secure your arch, hold your core in, relax, breathe right into the rib cage. As you breathe out, pull in, pull in, pull in, pull in. So again, if you feel you don't have the breathing, I always recommend having your hands on your tummy, because on the out breath, you know that that belly button should go away from the hands into the body. 3 more. Well done, well done. 2 more. Last one. Well done, and touch down. So if your legs and your lower back are under pressure, just take the edge off by moving side to side. Some people feel it more in their hip flexors, so the front of the thighs. If that's you, then just relax the hip flexors by bringing the soles of the feet together, and that will take the edge off there. The other thing when you're postnatal is hip stability has maybe gone a little bit. So we'll do an exercise to help you get your stability back. Your deep stabilizers around the pelvis need to be switched on again. Now, to do that, I want you to bring the knees hip width apart, so bring them back in. That's it, and I want you to take one knee off. Put your hands on your hip bone, so again for feedback, it will tell you what your hips are doing, and one leg goes up in the air. Now, the hands and the hip bones, nothing moves there, so you need to be very aware that we're not even looking for a centimeter going to the side. Nothing should move, so you have to be really strict with yourself. Breathe in. As you breathe out, you're taking the knee to the side. Now the opposite hip, if you don't switch it on, will move with you. So you need to switch that on. Keep your stability. To do that, you'll feel how the core has to stabilize and bring it back in. So if you feel the opposite hip bone is moving, then I want you to stop before that movement happens. We're just going to build the stability gradually. That's not going to happen overnight, but again, if you do this weekly or a couple of times a week, it will come back. I promise. That's it. Now, if you're quite good with stability, because every person is different, every pregnancy is different, you can take it maybe a little bit wider. Or if you like more of a challenge, have both legs floating. So one is stable, breathe in. As you breathe out, the other leg goes to the side, other side. So you don't have to float your legs, just be aware of what your level is. You may want to stabilize here, other side, breathe out. And bring it back in. So I just noticed that as I took my knee away, this knee wanted to compensate. So just be aware, the body is clever in trying to compensate. So now I'm going to focus on keeping that knee stable a bit more. And bring it back in. That's it, 2 more. It's a lot to think about. So you're stabilizing, but you're also pulling in the abs, lifting the pelvic floor. Last one. Well done, well done, well done. and bring it back. Well done. So just hug your knees, just taking the edge off. Go from side to side. So we're doing stabilizers, deep core, and we're going now back to core exercises. So from here, I want you to take the knees over the hips. We're going into dipping toes in the water. I always think, if you imagine you're on a lilo and that, you know, the edge of your mat is where the water is, to see. You're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, I want you to find the edge of the mat. Dip your toes in the water. Now keep the angle on your knee. As you can tell, I'm not changing the angle at all. So I'm not doing this. That's wrong, right? So keep the angle. Everything is stable. Imagine it's in a plaster cast. You breathe out as you lower. Keep your spine neutral. So if you're hyperextending, then you're not switching on your core. Swap legs, so you're doing one side and the other. Breathe out. Now try and keep the shoulders relaxed. That's it. So I find a lot of people will hunch the shoulders, keep them open. Breathe out. That's it. You need a bit of concentration in Pilates to just keep everything switched on as you're working the muscle. That's it. Breathe in. 2 more. Breathe out. Dip down. Well done. Last one. Breathe in, breathe out. Well done, well done. And bring it back. And just again, to take the edge off your lower back. So if that is too hard, you take breaks when you need to. If you prefer to keep it stable, back into your 100 position for the first few times you do this video, absolutely fine. So you have to listen to your body. Especially if your abs are bulging out, then you need to bring it back a little bit back a bit so that you can build it up rather than going straight into it. Right, so the last one is scissors. I'm going to layer this exercise, so we start easy, I'll make it harder along the way. If you don't want to do the progressions, you stay with the lower level. So first of all, I want you to take both legs up, then make sure you've got your neutral spine again. So make sure you've got your neutral pelvis, otherwise you have no gap. We need the gap to appear. Take your hands around the right thigh, and now start opening up. So one leg comes towards you, the other one goes low. How low you take the other leg is up to you. It's harder to go parallel. It's slightly easier to go diagonal. So you can start here. Now you breathe out for 2. Now the opening is not happening in the legs. It's actually happening in the glutes. So don't think about sort of opening from the toes and thinking, oh, I'm just going to kick as far as I can. Try and open it from your bum cheeks. Keep lengthening through the legs. Now, once you've got hang of this, I want you to take those hands away and see if you can take sort of the opening with the leg muscles rather than the hands. And if you want, you can actually sit up a little bit. Try and keep the parallel legs going. Breathe out. Breathe in. Relax the shoulders. That's it. So pull in those abdominals as you're pulsing. 4 more. If this is too hard, you can be here. Actually, laying down is also not easy. Slightly different. Trying to keep your neutral spine. Last one. And take the legs in. Well done. And just rock from side to side. If the hip flexors are pinching, just relax again. Soles of the feet together. So these are my top 5 moves for postnatal. They're strong, but build them up, listen to your body, and just do them little and often to see the results. So from here, come on, take your hands around the knee and gently roll up. Perfect. Well, thank you very much for joining me in this video. I hope if you do this little and often, it will help you in your post-pregnancy journey. And if you have any questions, just put it in the comment section below and we'll try and answer all your questions. Hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye.